A roundup of the latest news now. Here are our top stories. British right-wing broadcaster and former politician Nigel Farage has been appointed chairman of NatWest in a major U-turn by the UK bank. A study reveals why smelling farts is healthy. US porn giant PornHub blocks access in the US states of Virginia and Mississippi. And Hollywood actors go on strike. We'll have a special panel discussion. More on those top stories to come. First to the UK, and British right-wing broadcaster and former politician Nigel Farage has been elected chairman of UK bank NatWest. The bank had initially closed his accounts down due to what the bank called inconsistency with the bank's values. He publicly complained, called for the resignation of the board, and has now been elected as both the bank's chairman and member of its diversity committee. The bank gave us permission to broadcast a recording of the bank's first diversity committee meeting chaired by Mr. Farage and his opening speech.
Diversity means allowing everyone, whatever their opinion, the chance to express it. Now, don't get me wrong. As the descendant of French Huguenots, I've got immigrant blood myself. Immigrants from what is now the EU. I'm also married to a German and drive a Volvo, which despite being a Swedish car is now owned by the Chinese. So as you can see, despite actively lobbying for the UK to leave the EU and everything it stands for, at least until the day after the referendum result, and intercepting migrant boats in a bid to make front page news, I'm about as dependent on Europe and foreigners generally as Chelsea Football Club is on Liverpool for its incoming players. Now you might ask yourself, how can someone who campaigns to send immigrants home, who is himself descended from immigrants, not, in fact, send himself home? Well, the answer is I will be sending myself home at 5 p.m. today. I'll just be back at 9 a.m. tomorrow to make your lives a living hell.
A study has revealed that smelling farts could help reduce the risk of cancer, stroke, dementia, Alzheimer's, heart disease, kidney disease, and more. Joining me to explain the study is Professor Aidan Parp from the University of Exeter. Aidan, can you tell us why smelling farts may actually be beneficial?
Hello there, Bob. Farts contain hydrogen sulfide, or HS2, which the study has shown can have health benefits, including as an antioxidant in relaxing blood vessels, lowering blood pressure, having anti-inflammatory properties, and so on. One thing I should make clear here is that the average fart contains between 0.001 and 1 ppm, that's parts per million, of hydrogen sulfide, so we're talking relatively small amounts. If you were to fill a room with concentrated amounts of HS2, that can knock you out or worse. And are some farts better than others in terms of having a positive impact on health? There are three basic types of fart. You have what's commonly referred to in vernacular as loud and proud, which sounds like this. Or perhaps like this. Those kinds of farts have been found to be suboptimal in terms of the positive health impact they have, mainly due to there not being enough hydrogen sulfide to make an impact, although the levels of diffusion are fairly good. Then you have what's often referred to as a wet fart, which can lead to inadvertent excretion immediately thereafter, a phenomenon known as sharting. They sound something like this. While those kinds of farts showed positive HS2 content, the level of diffusion was quite low, so basically you're less likely to be able to smell the hydrogen sulfide as widely. The final category, and the best in terms of positive HS2 health impact, is what's known as the silent but deadly type of fart, which is what we know to be the smelliest type of fart. That entails the best combination of both HS2 content and diffusion.
It sort of sounds a bit like this. Aidan, thank you very much indeed. To the US now, and pornographic website PornHub has blocked access to the site in the US states of Virginia and Mississippi from the 1st of July, describing the two states' new age verification laws, which would require users to provide photo ID each time they access the site to prove their age, as unworkable.
Following the move, demand for VPNs to circumvent the block in Virginia and Mississippi has skyrocketed, and the US states lead all others in per capita demand for them. Joining me from Washington, D.C. is US political analyst Croydon Snickers. Croydon, is this law going to work?
Of course not, Bob. Utah and Louisiana tried, and it didn't work. Kids are going to find ways to watch porn, to jerk off to whatever laws you pass. They're technical whizzes. They know more about computers than your average adult. They'll get a VPN to access PornHub. They'll access another porn site that isn't blocked. They'll use fake ID to get on there. What is clear from this move is that traditional geographically focused laws and law enforcement are ill-equipped to deal with regulating the global phenomenon that is the internet. Ultimately, the focus should be on education and openly teaching kids about sex and sexual intercourse and letting them know that the fantastical world of porn bears very little resemblance to reality, is often degrading to women and, I guess, just seeing it for what it is, a masturbation aid and no more. Croydon, thank you. To California and New York now, and Hollywood actors remain on strike, with a number of high-profile stars joining the picket line, including Bryan Cranston, Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller, Jason Sudeikis, Susan Sarandon, Steve Buscemi, Sean Penn, Colin Farrell, Daniel Radcliffe, Bob Odenkirk, Bette Midler, and Laura Linney. Joining me for a panel discussion on the issue is David Skint from the US Actors Union, SAG, Screen Actors Guild, and Laurent Skiveur, chairman of the French Waste Collection Trade Union, which has organised strike action by Paris rubbish collection workers. David, let's start with you. Why are actors on strike in the US?
Hey, Bob. Many of you may think of US actors as earning lots of money, and some of them do. Tom Cruise made $100 million last year from Top Gun Maverick alone, so he's doing pretty well. But there are a number of up-and-coming actors who earn as little as $1,000 a day, which in LA is about enough to buy one cocktail and pay for parking. Laurent, what do you make of that?
What I make of this is total bullshit. The rubbish collector in Paris earns 14 euros per hour. I'm sorry, but I cannot have much sympathy for this American actor. It's a different world. For us, we pick up and smell shit every day. They wear makeup, say some lines and sign autograph. It's not the same, huh?
David, another of the reasons mentioned for the strikes is the role of AI in the creative process. What's that about?
Thanks for asking. But I'm just going to come back on Laurent's comments. I just want to say I'm really sorry about what you guys have to put up with, but remember that every situation is different. In the US, we have to pay for health insurance. You guys have free health care. The cost of living in LA and New York is extortionate, and not every actor is Tom Cruise. We just need to put that in perspective. The AI thing is about technology's ability to replicate an actor's voice and appearance without the actor being compensated. That is something we're concerned about.
Okay, but is that AI specifically or just the role of technology generally? There's clearly a lot of Hollywood content that's dependent on CGI these days, which still requires voice actors.
Yeah, but even those voice acting jobs are under threat.
Laurent, what are your thoughts?
My thought is, we, the workers in Paris, ça y est, we have no voice already, so I don't know what to say. But I just want to ask, David, could I maybe take one of the roles of the actors? $1,000 per day, c'est pas mal, it's not bad. I could be like Eric Cantona, Please, this is my number.